Hello everyone and welcome back to the 25 Cards of Christmas, ringing in the holiday season with Magic the Gathering. Now before we begin, I'd like to say that my original topic for today was postponed. For some reason, most of my work on it had become corrupted. Don't worry though, we'll visit that Mad Mage's story sometime during this series, but for this video, we gotta select a different present. How about this one? Well, it's another Goblin, what a treat! But not just any Goblin, a new Goblin Wizard from Commander 2015, Mizzix of the Izmagnus. You're quite the surprise now, aren't you? She's a little weaver of spells, but can she spin an interesting tale? I'm not sure what they were thinking when they designed Commander 2015, but someone on that team must really love Ravnica. Mizzix of the Izmagnus is yet another example of a commander hailing from this capital plane. At least a world like Ravnica offers a lot of contrasting viewpoints, thanks to the numerous guilds which comprise the plane. We've seen a ghostly grandfather from the Orzhov Syndicate, there exists an insect shaman from the Golgari Swarm, and now we're presented with a goblin wizard from the Izzet League. The Izzet League are charged with attending to Ravnican civic works, including water supply systems, heating systems, boilers, and roadways. In addition to carrying out these functions, the Izzet members, obsessive, keen, and creative intellectuals who often have short attention spans, are known to perform magical experiments, ever with reckless abandon and sometimes with spectacular but severe results. Unlike the other guilds, the Izzet do not strive for control of the city and plane of Ravnica, or power at all. Integral to the Izzet League, a guild of masters of both theoretical and applied science and spellcraft, is the passionate search for knowledge. Combined with their drive for discovery and childlike curiosity, the brilliant but careless Izzet Magerites jump to and from ideas as they see fit, discarding old ideas for new ones that attract their attention. In this regard, they can be likened to benevolent mad scientists. With company like that, the Goblin Mizzix fits right in. Although she didn't start off as the high-ranking member of the Izzet she is today, just like many clever goblins before her, Mizzix began her explosive career as nothing more than an attendee. As an attendee, Mizzix was forced to carry out the whims of her mage master, regardless of how dangerous they may be, all in order to gain the knowledge and experience needed to eventually run her own mana forge. Luckily, or unluckily, depending on your sanity, Mizzix was the attendee to one of Ravnica's most brilliant Magerites, the Chamberlain to the Firemind, Marie. This of course offered Mizzix untold potential, but brought with it even more dangerous and challenging experiments. Marie was the personal servant to the Izzet's guildmaster, the genius dragon Niv Mizzet. During the events of the Return to Ravnica block, the Draco genius began to grow suspicious of the random and lengthy disappearances of the new living guild pact, the Planeswalker Jace Beleren. At this point, for all his vast intellect, Niv Mizzet was completely oblivious to the existence of Planeswalkers, a fact one of the Izzet's own quite enjoyed, the Storm Mage, Ral Zarek. Ral Zarek, who is also a Planeswalker, spent the majority of his life skillfully hiding this revelation from his guildmaster. He was unsure how the Vain Dragon would take the news that this lowly mage could do something he could never hope to achieve. It was better just to hide the knowledge from him than for him to find out. Yet, when Niv Mizzet became suspicious of Jace Beleren's activities, Ral Zarek stepped in to investigate the Living Guild Pact's movements, starting Operation Lightning Bug. Even before the dragon grew curious, Ral Zarek knew that Jace was a Planeswalker, and hoped to keep that information away from the Firemind. The Storm Mage believed that if the investigation was going to take place, it would be best that he headed it. At least then, he could guide the results away from the discovery of Planeswalkers. Project Lightning Bug began by tracing the movements of Jace Beleren and a number of other figures across Ravnica. Of course, when Jace planeswalked, his signal was lost, throwing those involved into a bewildered fit. Though information was being gathered, the pace was far too slow for the Firemind. So the dragon requested that more tracing beacons be placed by his chamberlain, Marie, and his attendant, Mizzix. With the new tracking spell magnified, 2 new planeswalkers were discovered, although they had no idea what they were at the time. They simply called them by their code names, lightning bugs. Ralzeric was pushed into a corner. In order to fudge the results of Marie and Mizzix's works, he had to sabotage their findings. With the help of Jace Belleron, Ralzeric orchestrated an event which would prove the Izzet's results to be flawed, ultimately subduing Niv Mizzix's curiosity while keeping him none the wiser about the existence of planeswalkers. Though through her efforts, Mizzix was rewarded by Chamberlain Marie for her marvelous work on the tracking spells. He awarded her with a magical forge of her own, gaining her much due respect and acknowledgement among the Izzet League. Finally, Mizzix of the Izmagnus could put her own attendee in danger, saving her own skin for a change. Well, you know what? Mizzix, you may be one of the brightest goblins out there. Certainly, she's more intelligent than both Tuk Tuk and Zada. For that, and for being a really interesting commander, you've earned your spot on my Christmas tree. Beautiful. Anyway guys, I'd like to remind you to stay tuned for tomorrow, where we'll hopefully hear the corrupted tale of a demented Cabal mage. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, Simon here, just letting you know if you liked the video, you can support future content by liking it and sharing it with your friends. You can also support this channel by visiting my sponsors over at abugames.com. abugames.com is a leading online store for all things MTG, and without them, this series wouldn't be possible. You may even consider following me on social media or becoming a patron on Patreon. Through those means, you can stay up to date with the channel along with gaining access to special events and giveaways. You can find those links in the description below. Regardless, I wish you all a happy and safe holiday season.